Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of the Mul-Tea-Hull Talks. Before we kick off, I'm going to start by briefly explaining what Mul-Tea-Hull Talks is exactly about. As you may remember, a couple of months ago, we lost so many chances to be with you guys. Boat shows got canceled and there were travel bans here and there, so we thought, hey, we're going to give ourselves an extra chance to meet you online, and this is how we came up with the Mul-Tea-Hull Talks. So it's a series of meetings online in which we get to catch up with members of the Sunreef Yachts family and talk about a variety of subjects. But today's focus is sustainable yacht decor. And it's a vital thing for the Sunreef Yachts eco catamarans. And I'm joined today by Alicja Kotlarek from the design department here at Sunreef Yachts. Hello, Alicja.
Hi, hello, nice to.
So thank you so much for accepting our invitation for Tea and Talks.
Thank you for having me.
So today's topic is very exciting. It's about sustainable yacht decor, and it's a very broad subject. And frankly, I think it's fair if before we start, it's fair enough, I think, if we try and define what sustainable yacht decor is about exactly, because I'm tempted to think that it's about using ethically sourced materials, but something tells me that this concept goes much further than that. Can you tell us how far?
Yes, so you're absolutely right. While thinking about the sustainable design, we have to think globally. We have to think as about the materials as a wholesome. So we have to focus on something that tells us about the material, like about its origins, for example. So before focusing on the material itself, we want to see its past, for example. How was it sourced? Was it sourced responsibly? Was it sourced naturally? And is it possible to be recycled? All of this, like a background of the material, is like a starting point for us while we're searching for sustainable materials. And then when we go to the material itself, I think one of the most important and underestimated factor is the durability of the material and its quality. Also for the customers, for the clients, the durability of the material and its quality will mean that in the future they will not have to replace it so often. So it's very important, and its quality, its beauty, and also the future of the material that we have to take care of. Like, we have to be responsible by choosing the material. What's going to happen in the future with the material? So it's kind of like a life cycle. Is it possible to have it recycled? Is it this material? Is it going to become something else, some other kind of material? Or is it maybe possible to be like reused as the same kind of piece of the material or product? And beyond all of this, I think one of the most ephemeral, let's say, factor for thinking about sustainability is to create the interiors or products that are kind of like timeless, like something that will not go out of fashion. So for us, it's crucial to, for example, to focus on creating the interiors that are just timelessly beautiful and elegant, so it will not go out of fashion, so we will not have to replace some crazy pattern every year. So this is something also important for the clients.
I think that is the least obvious element of all the mix, but it actually makes sense. If something does not go out of fashion overnight, then it doesn't have to be replaced all the time. And that's, but all of this, I think when you're thinking about sustainable materials, there are so many factors taken into account. Yeah, you mentioned the origin, exactly, the manufacturing, packaging, transport, all of this.
Like I said, we have to think about this as like a wholesome, like a whole process, something that was in the past, something that will become, in the future with this material.
And while you work on yacht designs, do you think, since there's so many factors involved in the process, are yacht owners, your customers, usually aware of all these?
Because of all these factors, and because of this awareness of sustainability and the request generally in the world for sustainability, we observe this trend of becoming more and more aware, and our clients are very curious about materials, and many more clients right now, they are interested in having a range of materials. So we observe this trend, and it's very positive for us. So there is a market for us to build, to make a research. And if the clients are not so into the subject, I think that this is our very important role, to introduce some of the materials, to give a range of the materials and the possibility, and not maybe to educate the clients, but to influence them, to show that there are opportunities and there are new materials, sometimes very surprisingly, unexpected, with some features that could be just maybe just interesting point, in the starting idea for the clients. And also, I think that if our clients consciously decide on investing into Sunreef eco boats, they are already kind of aware, and they are willing to invest into the sustainability, into the research of sustainability. So our response must be kind of coherent with the, because the Sunreef Eco are the high technology, sustainable, really amazing researched boats and full of innovations. And our response must be following this idea. So we have to bring the possibilities to make a beautiful eco interior for the client.
It's about, we call it the 360 experience, exactly. Right? And since we have this high-tech eco boat with electric propulsion, a lot of eco-responsible gear on top, the solar panels and all of this, we want the interior design to be an integral part of this design, and to be coherent with, as you said, with the whole concept of the boat.
We have to have this agreement kind of.
And what is interesting is something that you mentioned. You, as an interior designer and the interior design department, you get to influence the customer preferences. And then it's actually an interesting process, because the customers themselves will afterwards, I think, influence the industry.
Exactly, because when we are kind of creating the market, if the clients are tempted to use the materials that are considered to be eco, or they ask for the options, we ask then the companies what are their response, and we kind of create this market. We kind of force even the top designers to think about their options and opportunities they can offer us. So by influencing the client, then the client influences the market and the product, and it's kind of like a whole self-turning circle that is growing. Exactly. And making everybody make the research and trying to be on top of the trends and trying to influence each other. That's
so if the demand is here, then the supply will follow ultimately.
Exactly.
Okay.
So yeah, it's very important process that we don't see, but it's very positive. We really see this energy, and everybody's getting involved into this, and I think we have to think about this aspect.
So that's fantastic. Now that we know a little bit more about what sustainable yacht decor is, I want to look at some actual samples of eco materials. I want to start with the fabrics. Tell me what's new.
Yes. So first of all, I would like to talk about, if we talk about fabrics, I would like to divide them into groups. We are talking about the sourcing. We have to focus on the materials and fabrics that are, for example, naturally sourced, or they are natural. They are, close to natural. Everybody just know the bamboo, the silk, or some linen. I just brought. So these are the natural materials. The linen, the wool. And just right now, these materials that are natural, the quality looks like the most desirable effects by clients.
I was going to say that this is linen, right?
This
Okay.
is linen.
Okay.
So it was natural material, and in the future it can be still natural material. It's also very durable, it's beautiful, it's natural, and we always try to influence the clients to use as much natural materials, like I said, wool and bamboo, something that's just natural, beautiful, and very basic, but in a good way.
From my point of view, those look
But the manufacturing
absolutely fantastic.
process is very short. It's also could be locally sourced, like we said before. And the future of this material will also be very like a natural. We can always make another fabric out of this. So this is kind of one way of thinking of the materials. And on the other hand, what we have are the materials that are made from polyester, for example, so recycled materials. And those recycled materials are, for example, like eco-vegan suede. So we are talking about fabrics that are made from something that was like a different kind of material before, and right now it's a fabric that we can use in some surfaces on our yachts. What's interesting here is that you would probably never guess, but this is made out of old t-shirts and sportswear and some polyester fibers. And instead of being produced from some petrol-based recycling process that is actually making some CO2 emissions, we can reduce all this process and having this life cycle of the other material being.
Well, what's amazing is that it feels very natural, and there's a softness to it that is really outstanding. And it's and you're saying this is recycled polyester and old t-shirts, basically, right?
Yes, exactly. Okay. So these are the old fibers of the other materials that now can be like this, and its quality, the touch, it can be dyed in any colors. So this is something that we can kind of offer to our clients.
Okay. What about these over there? What are these?
Yes, these are, I brought here. You would probably never guess, but this material of a very beautiful quality, it's made out of plastic bottles.
Is it?
Exactly. I'm using it in one of my projects right now, and the client was not really aware what he was choosing. So just after choosing this material, I told him what was it, and he was very surprised positively.
Fabrics are amazing. What happens with the more solid, decor components?
So from our research, one of the most interesting material that we found is, for example, this kind of tiles, and they are made out of crushed glass and reused screens and monitors. They're crushed, mixed with water, and then they behave like a normal clay or gypsum. So we can mix it with water. We can make it pigmented, colored, and then it's drying under the sun. And then, so the process is very natural and very basic. Then it's baked, so it becomes durable and scratch resistant.
Okay. So, and what about the bathrooms? What happens in the bathrooms? Do we have any exciting new solutions? Well, this goes into the bathroom still, but yes. I'm talking about sinks, bathtubs. Do we have something new?
I have a complete surprise for you, because this is a bio-based material. It's like a resin that is made out of plants, and it's made out of corn.
Okay, that's fantastic. Well, Alicja, thank you so much for the very informative and an inspiring tea talk today.
Thank you very much. I hope that I brought you some surprises here.
This was very exciting. The potential of these is just
we are always
amazing.
on research on having some new materials and responding to the needs.
Okay, again, Alicia, thank you so much for accepting our invitation for the Mul-Tea-Hull Talks. For you guys watching, thank you so much for joining us. If you have any questions, feel free to share those. We will answer these after the Instagram Live. For now, this is all, and we'll see you very soon on the next edition of Mul-Tea-Hull Talks. Goodbye.